Okay. Alright, so if you can see me, I'm now recording for episode 1 of the Advocating Brother podcast, name subject to change. If you can see the video, this is like my mobile setup. This is not what my background's usually going to look like. I kind of made like a makeshift setup because I just got tired of waiting. So this is going to be my on-the-go setup.
Work management platform that helps companies get more done and save more time.
Ads.
Teams can stay connected while they track updates and visualize time.
Ad. Oh my god. Come on, bro. Alright. Another ad? Oh. Come on, man. Bring the sound back. Come on.
Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and
All right,
conditions.
Best Western. There we go. I like low-key want to use an ad blocker, but I kind of don't. Like, I don't want to steal from the creator of the video. All right. So I'm recording on both Twitch and Instagram currently. Yeah, I think I'm just ready to start. So episode 1 of the Advocating Brother podcast. Again, like I said, name subject to change, but yeah, so this is episode 1. So who I am, where should I look? The camera? Maybe I should look right at the camera. Alright, I'm gonna look right at the camera. I am I am the Advocating Brother. I guess my real name is TJ or Todd, whatever you want to call me. I'm the older brother of a nonverbal adult. He was diagnosed when he was 3 years old to have severe autism, and he hasn't been re-diagnosed since, but due to classification changes, he would be considered level 3 currently. I'm his older brother, but I'm currently his caregiver. He had a caregiver. Well, it's me and my mom. He had another caregiver before, but she was with him for about 6 years and barely talked to him and just did very little for him. And about 2 or so months ago, she did something unethical, and I stepped in and put my foot down and told her that she'll never work with my brother again. And now, and I quit my job. So now I work with my brother full time. And he's about to finish school in about 2 weeks. And then, so I'm with him after he gets out of school. But once he gets out of school totally, like for the summer, this will be his last year, and I will be with him all day, every day. And I'm very excited because we get along very well, and I think he just has the right energy. He's very adorable, honestly, but I don't want to try and infantilize him because he is an adult with autism. I just think he's handsome, and he has a big smile, and he brings that big smile with him everywhere. But yeah, so why I got into this field, well, before I even say that, before I was a caregiver, I was a BHT for 4 years, which is a behavioral health technician, formerly known as a TSS, or therapeutic support staff. I think that's what TSS stands for. So I was a BHT for 4 years, and I loved the job. It was awesome. I taught kids how to talk, how to walk better if they needed it. A lot of calming strategies and independent skills, and using your words, and teaching kids that their words have power, and especially nonverbal kids, teaching them how to communicate with others. It was such a fulfilling job. I really did like it, and I was ready to advance in the job, until the whole situation happened with the caregiver, and ever since then I told my job. Luckily, I was in between cases at the time, so they were just about to put me on a new case. I was scheduled to go in the very next week that this whole unethical thing happened, and but as soon as it happened and I learned more about it and I really understood what was going on, I told them, sorry, but you're out of a job. You complain about my brother too much and you barely help, and now you're doing all this? Like, no way. No shot. Yeah, so why I got into this field, I wanted to make sure that my brother, I have to look into the camera. That's the problem. I'm like looking everywhere else. I wanted to make sure that my brother was set for life. Like, the truth of life is, at some point my mom won't be able to take care of my brother anymore, and I'll have to take care of him, because otherwise he'll have to go into the system, and he's nonverbal. So that's just really a worst case scenario. And I went into school. I currently have a bachelor's in special education. I'm able to teach kids age 3 to 22. Really anything. I've done life skills, autism support, learning support, multi-disability support. I have experience working with people all different types of disabilities, but I really do specialize in autism. That was my minor, autism education. Again, I really just wanted to make sure that I knew I was able to get my brother support or whatever he needed later in life, and I knew all the lingo to talk to all the people to make sure he's getting the best services that he can be. And yeah, I can say that he's set for life because of it. Like now, I'm able to work with him, and I've been helping him a ton. And I promise, like, if I didn't have a bachelor's in special education, I would not know anywhere near as much about autism or any of the other disabilities as I do know now. So I really am glad that I went. But the reason why I went into special education was to make sure he's set for life. But shortly after joining, I fell in love with teaching people with disabilities. Like, man, I have seen such amazing things. Like, kids that are nonverbal start talking. I've helped just blind kids enjoy books and through Braille. I've adapted books and materials before so kids can use them. I've designed special lessons and personalized them so to make learning more fun for kids. Like,
Where's your playlist taking you?
oh my gosh,
Down
I'm
the
so
highway?
sorry.
To the mountains? Or
My
just in...
lo-fi. There's ads on my lo-fi. It's okay though. Okay, so now that the music's back. But yeah, I always wanted to be a teacher. Actually, wait, before I get into that, let me go back. I remember now. So just with, so, okay. I don't even know where to go from here. So I fell in love with teaching. You know what? It is, I'll say it anyway. But these kids are amazing. Kids with disabilities are truly amazing. When provided support and the opportunity, any opportunity, it could be anything. They're so capable of anything. And I have had so many personal experiences that's evidence of that. But like look at the Special Olympics. There's opportunity, and all these athletes are being supported through these journeys, and they're doing spectacular things. And that's just one example. I've worked with kids that when they were born, they had less than 30% of their brain, and those kids, the kid entirely normal, looks totally normal, talks normal, everything totally normal. Only thing is they need support with reading. That's it. That's amazing. Like, I've heard so many stories of parents saying that doctors told them their kid's not going to be anything. They're going to struggle with so much. They won't be able to get married or drive or read or do anything. And it's all nonsense. These kids are so capable when provided support. Like, when given opportunity and support, doesn't matter what disability they have, like, they can overcome it. I mean it wholeheartedly. And not even overcome it, but surpass it. Like, oh my goodness, my brother's made so much progress in the past 2 months, but I'm going to talk about it later. But it's like, just working with me and seeing how independent he's come, just because I've given him the opportunity and I supported him every second of the opportunity, I guess. He's now able to do chores independently, and I'm teaching him how to pump gas, and he uses my card to pay for things, and there's just so much more, but I'll talk about it later. All right, back to why I got into this field. It was a little tangent, because like, people forget, or they don't even forget, they just underestimate these people with disabilities, and they are not to be underestimated. Like, look at all the TV shows with people with disabilities on them now. Like, they're so capable. I with opportunity and support, I'm telling you. But yeah, so I always wanted to be a teacher ever since kindergarten. Oh my God. What did I just say? Kindergarten. Excuse me. That was terrible. All right, let's go back. So I've always wanted to be a teacher ever since kindergarten. I think I always wanted to be a math teacher, but So after I graduated high school, I went straight into school, into college, and I was in for computer science, and man, that just saying that word is so triggering. Coding was just way too confusing for me. Like, oh my goodness. And I went into computer science because I saw like the pay grade. I was like, oh, it's the highest pay. And I'm pretty smart. I'm sure I'll figure it out. I didn't figure it out. No, I did not figure it out. But you know, after comp sci didn't work out, and the reason why comp sci didn't work out, I kept failing classes. I failed comp sci 3, and I also failed pre-calc. I retook it, got an 80, then took calc, and then failed calc. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work, because if I'm failing these introductory level classes, there's no way I'm going to graduate. Like, no way. But in hindsight, I didn't really use the tutoring services. I'm sure there was more I could do, but I really did feel hopeless at that time. Um, so I wanted to be a math teacher, right? So I was thinking maybe I could switch to mathematics so I could be, or math education so I could be a math teacher. But after failing pre-calc and calc, I was like, dang, I guess I just can't be a math teacher either. Because I'm pretty sure with being a math teacher, you had to take up to calculus 3, and that, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine what that would look like. So when I went to school, it was either I'm gonna be in for comp sci, be a math teacher, or be a special ed teacher if nothing else works out. That way, hopefully I can find a love for teaching kids with disabilities, because I've never done it before other than be with my brother. I've taught my brother a lot of things, but also didn't really have a good understanding of autism. All I knew was what I learned from growing up, which wasn't much, especially not anything compared to what I know now. So I joined special education, and my whole goal is, I really wanted to be a teacher, but I couldn't be a math teacher, and I really hope special education works out, and I really hope I learn something where I'm able to help my brother. And I was able to help my brother in tenfold. Just within the first year of doing special education, I made a personalized communication book for my brother that he still uses to this day. And that was like 5 years ago. And I've implemented so many other systems at home to help make life more manageable for my brother. And that was just in the first 1 to 2 years of being in special education. And I find that to be incredible. I'm glad that I made that switch. I mean, it was horrible failing all those classes, but I guess everything happens for a reason. If I passed those classes, I never would have went into special education. I think that's really all I got. Oh yeah, and how I became a BHT. So after my first year, I guess this is like my second and a half to third year of being in college. I finished college after, I believe it was 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. I got my undergrad in 6, which it did take a while, but I did switch multiple times, so it makes sense. But how I became a BHT, after my second year, I just wanted more experience working with people with disabilities, because my only experience was having friends with autism in high school and working with my brother, or not even working with him, just having a brother with autism. Not even working with him, because I wasn't working with him. I was just his brother. So yeah, I just wanted more experience, and I have so many experiences being a BHT, especially early on. Like, it was so tough early on. My first client wasn't that bad. He was verbal and he didn't have autism. You know what? I'm getting too sidetracked, because I could talk about being a BHT like for so long, but let me get this music back on real quick. Okay. Cool. Let me go back. I'm so sorry. The music, the ad coming up, that just threw me off. BHT, behavioral health technician. I have a BHT series. Like, I have so many experiences, and I gained a lot of knowledge from being in that position. And I work with people of so many different disabilities, mainly people with autism, both verbal and nonverbal. Nonverbal more earlier in my career, but later on they gave me a lot of people that were verbal with autism. I've had multiple verbal clients that all had autism. What I did was I told my job, hey, my brother's nonverbal, level 3 autism. I would prefer it if you gave me people with autism, specifically the kids with the most severe behaviors. And the reason why I told him that was, one, I already had experience with that, because my brother, he's very calm now, but when he was younger, very physical, a lot of screaming, very intense. Let's put it like that. And now my brother, like, the worst thing he does now is make holes in the walls. He still does that still, but I can't say why he does it for sure, but something tells me that it's for attention, because ever since I started working with him, he hasn't done that. He used to do that back when his past caregiver that barely gave a hoot about him was working with him. I feel like he was doing that just to, like, get some attention, but I talk to him all the time, and so he doesn't really do that. But that's just my thoughts on that. I don't know why he makes holes in the wall still. But aside from that, he's very calm, very chill. And the reason why he's so calm and chill is because my mom, I mean, he's really gotten into this routine now, right? But my mom has found a good mix of vitamins and medication for him. He does take a medication for to be calm, or calmer, I should say, because he does get agitated. But I think it's perfect for him. We've tried other medicines in the past, and those medicines didn't really work out, and it made him, like, more irritable, and he wasn't sleeping at night, and he was angry at school, and so there are some medicines that just don't work for him, even though they claim they help autism. I guess they're just for a different person. They just didn't work for him. But yeah, I think why he's so calm is because on top of having a good routine now, it's that mix of vitamins and the medicine that he takes currently. Because we finally found one that was good for him, that wasn't causing mood swings or like it was hurting because we just wanted to help him, but it's like the help wasn't helping, it was hurting him. And so I'm glad he's off those medicines and we found the right ones. Excuse me. I feel like, is there anything else I want to talk about before I move on to the next part? My brother. Oh, the BHC thing. So I told my company I want to work with kids with the most severe behavior because one, I had the most experience with this because of my little brother. When he was younger, he used to be very physical and very intense with his screaming and throwing and a lot of behaviors. So that's the first reason, and the second reason is I wanted more experience. I wanted to be able to handle any situation. So I asked for the most intense situations so that I'm able to work with any child with any disability, no matter how severe the behavior might be. And I have gotten hurt sometimes. I don't even know how to rank it, but I have gotten hurt sometimes with my most severe clients, I guess, which I honestly have no issue with because I know they didn't mean it. That's just how they communicate. But yeah, it I've had a lot of experiences. I've worked with kids that were completely verbal, that just needed help to stay on task, all the way to kids that struggled with transitions, that when it was time to switch rooms, they refused to leave. They're screaming, crying on the ground, rolling around. If I try and reach for them, give them a hand, they scratch my arm or pull me or so yeah, I've really worked with a big range of clients, so I had lots of experiences. That's why I created the BHT series, because I've only talked about very surface level concepts on there, very simple ABA techniques, but I can really go in depth with this series. So whenever I really start putting in this work, I could really make it happen. And that's something I've realized why I've really started to just put this together and get on it, because I've had this idea to make this podcast since last year. I've invited multiple professionals, parents, and friends with disabilities to come on it, which they've just been waiting patiently for a year for me to start it so they could come on. And I guess why I'm starting to get on it now is I've had these ideas, these amazing ideas to do these things.
And still get reliable
Let me
phone
mute
service?
this real quick. Well, I've had these ideas to do these things, but they're just ideas. And in my head, they're great ideas. Oh, I can help so many people. They're great. And in my head, it feels so good to think about this. But without the action, without the work, I don't think they will ever come into fruition. And I'm realizing that what's holding me back, I'm waiting for the right moment when I feel great and I'm not really tired like I am right now. And my voice is kind of shot right now. I'm waiting for my voice to be perfect, my mood to be perfect, the setup to be perfect, the time of day to be perfect, and and I'm waiting for all that, and it's not gonna happen. I am waiting for everything to be perfect, picture perfect, so that I can I can make the best thing ever, so it can be perfect. And I'm realizing I just got to do it regardless, because it's not like it's just not gonna happen. Um, and I'm realizing that, and I think that, and I've given up on having expectations for this. Because I'm going from wanting to be perfect to just doing it, and if it whatever happens, happens. And I think a lot of stress has got come off of me ever since I did that, because uh, I don't know. I feel like I, everything has to be perfect, and that that's just not gonna happen. And I gotta just do it anyway. And it feels great to just be in my mind like, oh, I'm gonna have the best YouTube channel ever, the best Twitch channel, but it's until I make it happen or start building on it, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I'm gonna be 80 years old sitting in my mind like, oh, actually no, I'm probably gonna be 80 looking back and being like, dang, why did I ever start that channel? I had that great idea to create this business, create that business, do this, do that, and why did I never do it? That's probably what I'll be thinking when I'm 80. But so that's why I'm on it now, you know. And let me pause this for just a second. My goals for this podcast is to teach others. Let me make sure I'm recording real quick. Let me just double check, because that scared me low key. All right, I'm good. All right, cool. All right, so my goals for this podcast is to teach others about disabilities, my life, my experiences. Yeah, just teach others through those things and those mediums. Spread awareness about people with disabilities. I gotta add, I'm sorry. Spread awareness about disabilities of all different types. I plan on having people come on here. I gotta look at the camera. Sorry. Plan on having people come on here to share their story. You know, people with disabilities, or sorry, loved ones of people with disabilities, their voices matter, and their stories matter, and their stories are powerful. And I want to create a space for loved ones to share their, well, not just loved ones, people with disabilities and their loved ones, to share their experiences, so others can relate to them, you know? I don't know how I want to say this. Having, I don't know how to say this. I'll just say it and hopefully I could like fix it. But um, like my brother, he doesn't have friends. He doesn't have any friends. I'm his friend. My fiance is his friend. I'm his brother, but my fiance is his friend. I'd say that's really his only friend. So sometimes, um, I guess having a disability or loved ones of people with disabilities may feel alone, and I feel as though by having people come on and share their story, um, I can negate this. We can really build a supportive community of people with disabilities, loved ones, advocates, and professionals. Um, I I I think I could have some great discussions, and with both parents with and professionals on here. Um, oh, and another reason why I invited professionals, I myself, I mean, I was a professional. I was working in the field. Um, and I guess I still kind of am being a caregiver, but um, so the reason why I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. The reason why I'm inviting professional is I plan on being a professional in this field. I'm currently going for my master's in applied behavior analysis, or ABA. I believe it's like professional behavior analysis, or like behavior analysis in the professional practices. I think that's like the official name, but it's professional ABA. My goal is to become a BCBA. Um, you know, I, I wanted to be a BCBA to create my own businesses where I can help people with disabilities and like become certified and um, just you know be be a super qualified practitioner. But I'm realizing that I don't even need to become a BCBA to start many of my business ideas. So I have been working on them in the background. Currently, and I haven't talked about this anywhere other than um, with, I guess, those closest to me. Um, excuse me, sorry. But currently, I'm working on making a business where I teach people with disabilities kickboxing. And I haven't made the ads yet, but I really do want to find a space for this. I've been calling businesses and I'm getting all the gear currently. And the kickboxing I'm going to teach is Muay Thai. I'd say I'm about an intermediate in Muay Thai. Um, Nowhere near a professional, but I do like to spar and learn techniques and perfect them. And I feel like I know enough to teach others. And I would love to introduce people with disabilities into the sport. Um, Muay Thai is great for weight loss, for skill acquisition, for balance training, uh, for social skills, if we have a class going, for community. Like, there's just so many positives. And it's going to be great for me because I'm going to be losing weight, holding those pads. Those pads are heavy. I don't know if anybody listening has ever held a Thai pad, but you have to hold two like this, and they're heavy. After like 2-3 minutes of holding it, it gets really heavy. And I'm planning on holding them for like 30 minutes to an hour at a time. So, it's going to be good for me for uh, for weight loss and for learning how to become a coach. Um, I realized that for that, like, I want to take so many coaching courses and things like that, but I already I have a lot of experience with people with disabilities, and like I really feel like I just gotta learn by doing it. Like, it's just like with this, like I just gotta learn by doing. I gotta stop putting it off and thinking like, well, nah, it's not. I could just do it later, or this it's too dark out. It's not, my voice isn't good enough. Just having constant excuses, and um, also a lot of negative self talk. Um, like I said, I wanted to make this podcast for a while, And I kept telling myself, like, if I'm still struggling with these issues and like these negative self talk, and I keep failing to keep promises, my business is gonna fail. What's the use? There's no use in even putting out episodes. Like, there's no point in even trying because I I keep not making my promises to myself. And I guess in reality, I'm probably making goals that are not attainable, um, or that my God or higher power doesn't want for me right now. Um, like making these giant goals, but not putting the building blocks there to make the goals even attainable, and then thinking, oh, what's the use? Like, I'm not even giving myself a chance. I feel like, and yeah, I don't know how I got here, honestly. How did I get here? What am I talking? What? I have to figure out a way to remember what I was talking about because I don't even know how I got here. But yeah, recently, like, what motivated me? I've been listening to this book. I believe it's by a guy. Let me look up his name before I butcher it. Let me just make sure. Okay, the guy's name is Gary John Bishop, and he made a book for adults that's has it's called un unmess up yourself. The actual words is un f word yourself, but I'm not going to say that right now. So basically, it's about how to his ways, his methods of defeating anxiety and self sabotage and unfulfilling promises and things like that. And a lot of good advice in there. Really motivated me to want to put this out. Um, Another thing that motivated me was hearing this rapper, very famous rapper that I'm sure people my age know of, named Ian. Um, and I was just listening to his music, and I love his music. Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. But I was listening to the lyrics, just hearing how honest he is about his mental health struggles, and he struggles with addiction as well, and seeing how successful he is, and feeling how I guess the word is powerful or hopeful his music makes me feel. Like, I'm just hearing like he's still struggling with all these issues, but still putting out stuff and getting just, just still um, using his creative talent and still putting stuff out there despite these issues. I just felt like, you know, um, I can really do this. This a mix of listening to his music and reading this book. And I just bought all of. Uh, oh, I never said the author's name. It's Unblank Yourself by Gary John Bishop. He's a Scottish guy, born and raised in Glasgow, apparently. Just I see it on his Wikipedia. But yeah, um, yeah, just that's really what motivated me to put this episode out, and really just like I'm really just getting just destroying all my expectations. That's what I realized with that book. Like, I have all these high expectations, and also I want everything to be perfect, and as a result, nothing's getting done, and that it's just not gonna work like that. So I really gotta switch up the game plan here. Um, but yeah, let's move on to let's see how long this recording is. Almost at an hour. Awesome. Good. All right. Let's move on to working with my brother the past 2 months, and all the improvements he's made, like, oh my goodness. Whew. So so let's just say before I started working with my brother, for the past 6 years, working with his past caregiver, he never went outside. And I tried talking to the caregiver about this, but for some reason she was like, "No, I don't go outside. I don't go outside. I don't go outside." And okay, um, but he never went outside. He would just sit on the couch and play with his iPad every single day after he gets home from school. He eats. She would make the food for him. He play on his iPad for hours and hours and hours, and then she would bathe him, and then um, you know, that's really it. And all she ever said to him was, "Hello, bye." Um, and honestly, just a lot of yelling when he wasn't responding to her prompts. That's really it. Just, "Oh, come on," and stuff like that. That's really it. I think that's all she's ever said. All she did was, and the thing is, she was supposed to clean up after him. She didn't clean up after him. She was supposed to vacuum the floor, sweep the floor, mop. She didn't do any of that. She was supposed to do his laundry. She didn't do that. Sometimes she would fold the clothes. Sometimes she'd make his bed. And aside from that, all she would do is sit on a chair and read the Bible all day long until it was time to do those things I mentioned before. And she did that every day for 6 years. Every day except for the weekends. Or actually, no, also a weekday or a weekend as well, because she did work weekends. And meanwhile, my mom is working, at work. She can't be home, so he does need a caregiver of some sort. One second, sorry. That was gross. All right, just coughed up a long. Excuse me. But now, in just the 2 months that I've been working with him, I've been doing stuff that has been helping his speech, his happiness, and his independence. Um, so the skills that I've taught him is how to bathe more independently, how to wear a towel around his waist to preserve his dignity, which he does independently now. I don't even have to tell him. Before I had to prompt him, "Hey, come on, wear the towel." Now he literally hops out the shower, does it himself, goes to his room. It's amazing. Um, he mops the floor independently. He when he drinks a cup of water, uh, he drinks like this and will spill it all over his shirt. So what I've done, actually, let me write this down so I don't forget to talk about this because this is important. But I've implemented many preventative measures. All right. So I gave him a bib. And I told him, "Hey, when you go drink water, put the bib on." And that now he does it all independently. And it's an adult size bib. The reason why I gave it to him is because when he drank water, he would spill water all over his shirt. And because he spilled water all over his shirt, he would change his clothes like 5 times a day because every time he goes to drink water, he will spill all over his shirt. And then, it'd be on his shirt. And then he has to go. And not only is it on his shirt, but it's on his shirt and it's on the floor because he spilled it. And he would change 5, 6, 7 times a day, all because his shirt's wet and he doesn't want to walk around with a wet shirt. It's soaked, really, drenched. That's about it, the best word. But Um, oh, and if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at a camera and I'm looking right at my brother because again, I'm his caregiver now and I'm watching him. But so that's why I keep looking over here. But yeah, so I gave him an adult sized bib, and now when he drinks water, he does all this independently, but he puts on the bib, drinks water, he spills water, it no longer gets on his shirt, so he doesn't change anymore. He leaves his clothes alone, keeps the same outfit. I that bib is an amazing preventative measure to keep him from spilling stuff all over his shirt. Because now he just wears the bib, nothing gets on his shirt. But now he spills on the floor. He goes and gets the mop, mops up the floor all by himself. I don't gotta tell him anything. I had to teach him how to do that. So I told him, hey, when you spill the water, what do we do? He goes and gets the mop, cleans it up. A lot of praise, a lot of hurrahs. Because of that, now he does it all by himself. It's all part of his routine. It's amazing. He sweeps the floor. He was practicing that at school, so now he's just bringing the skill over to home. But he does work on it at home. So, I have him sweeping the floor with the dustpan. He pushes in his chair. I've taught him how to take a Lysol wipe and wipe down his area, wipe down his placemat. He doesn't do that independently quite yet, but soon he will, I'm sure. I've taught him how to pump gas. He's pumped gas in my car multiple times. We've gone shopping before, and when we go shopping, we go through the whole process. I make him get the cart. We go through. I show him a list. The list is either words or a bunch of pictures. If it's something more specific, like a certain type of mask, I'll definitely do a picture. That way he's able to match it to the picture. So we go shopping cart list. We go through every aisle, and I tell him, okay, I don't know, cereals in aisle 3. Let's go look. We walk to aisle 3. I have him stop, look up at the aisle. Is it aisle 3? He confirms. If he says yes, we move on. If he says no, I say, look again. I'm pretty sure that's 3. I'm pretty sure that's 3. And we keep moving. We go through the aisle. He matches the item to the picture. He grabs it. I tell him, go grab one. He puts it in the cart. We keep moving. Do that for the whole list. Then when it's time to pay, I have him wait in line. When it's time to pay, he gets the scan gun, scans everything. Or no, here's how I have him do it. I have him take the scan gun, scan, then I give it to him, and then he puts it in the bag. And we repeat that process over and over. He's scanning everything. I don't know if he does this in school. I have him do it because I want him to be as independent as possible. He uses the scan gun, scans every item, puts it in the bag, and then we put the bags in the cart. I help him with that. Then we take it all back to the car, and he helps put the bags in the car, and then I give him the option. I say, hey, do you want to sit down? Because we just went through a lot, honestly. And I give him an option, I say, hey, do you want to sit down or do you want to return the cart? And usually he says sit down. So I let him sit down while I go return the cart. I have him sit down, buckle him in, lock the door, and go quickly put the cart in real quick. And then, and when we're at the store, I ask him, do you want anything? So if he says like chips because that's his favorite snack. He'll say chips, usually. And I say, okay, let's go find it. I have him go find it. He picks out a bag for himself, puts it in, and yeah, he does it. And also, when he's paying, I give him my card. I show him where to put it in. We'll do hand over hand. I type in my code. Have him do everything. Pull out the card, all that. Take the receipt, everything. The full process. Have him do it all so that he can build his independent skills. I'm going to start taking him to the library soon. I recently got a library card for me to test out the process so that when I take him, it all runs smooth. But I've gotten books. I've sat down and read books with him. He loves Dr. Seuss. I always offer him multiple options, but he always chooses the Dr. Seuss book. But, I still give him multiple options. And then I sit down and I read it with him. And he loves just reading. I have him turn the pages. He loves it. So, what else? What else does he do? We go swimming. I give him multiple options, actually. I ask him. I say, hey, do you want to go outside today? And he'll say yes or no. And if he says no, that's it. That's the end of that. We'll go. I will give him multiple options. You want to do a puzzle? Do you want to just sit and watch your iPad? Do you want to listen to music? I'll bust out my big speaker and he'll listen to music with the speaker. And, oh man, he's improved so much. Oh man. So at first with the music, I would say, hey, do you want music? It's yes or no, Do you want music? Yes or no? And he says yes. Then I bring out the speaker. There was one time, me and my fiance, we were just sitting down, just chilling, weren't doing anything. My brother walks into the room carrying a speaker, sits it down right in front of us, and says, music, super loud. It's amazing. I couldn't believe it, honestly. I was like, yes, you can have music. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. Oh my gosh. I wish I got that on recording, honestly. I really do. But yeah, when we listen to music, I tell him, say change it, and I'll skip the song. And he's in charge of every single song. And it's amazing. It's evolved recently because, so for a while we did change it. It will skip the song, this and that. So I'll say, how about this? At first, so that's what we started with. And then it moved into, I created a personal playlist for him. And I would add his favorite songs into the playlist so that way everything's there. But lately, and this isn't even the craziest part, but lately I've taught him how to put the music, how to search for the music on his favorite songs on YouTube, find the artist and the artist name, put the songs directly, like type it into Spotify and put it directly into the Spotify playlist. And I prompt him through that whole process. And sometimes he's done it with less than one or two prompts, like less than two prompts, I say. And other times he needs many prompts. So, we're getting there to him doing it independently. But it is a long process. So, sorry about that. Still a little sick. But, you know, what else do we do? We've done so much. Oh, and the best part about it now, he started doing this out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, he's so smart. What he does now, he finds the song on YouTube. Sometimes he says change it, But when I'm just not finding that one song he really wants, he started looking up the song on YouTube and playing it, trying to communicate with me. And this came out of nowhere. This just started like 3 days ago. Dead serious. He finds a song on YouTube, plays the song, looks at me, and I'm like, "Do you want this song?" Yes. I find the song, I play it for him. He starts jamming out. He stops the song on his iPad and he starts dancing, just jamming. That's amazing. He's finding new ways to communicate with me, and our activities are evolving, and it's amazing, honestly. Um, I give him choices with everything, anything he wants to do. If he wants to stay inside, do music, we could do that. He wants to go outside, okay. What do you want to do? Do you want to jump on a trampoline? Do you want to walk around? No, no. Okay. Do you want to go to the store? Do you want to go to the mall? Do you want to go to the movies? And usually he'll say to the mall, he'll say mall or movies, or he'll say yes or nod, and we'll go and do that, and we'll have us a mall day or a movies day, and he is so happy now. I'm pretty sure he's done more in the past um 2 months than in the entire 6 years of being with the last caregiver. And um, the reason why we kept the caregiver for so long is because the caregiver was also family. So I'm pretty sure they took advantage of my mom's kindness because they were family. And they figured, well, I'm family, so I could do less, even though my brother needs it. He needs the support. Um, he needs those experiences. Um, so, but yeah, I really do respect his communication. Um, Before helping him, I always ask, "Do you want help?" And I tell him he can say no. Uh, I give him choices for where to go, what songs he wants to listen to, what clothes he wants to wear. I'll literally pull out a pair of shorts, pair of long pants. I'll say, "Do you want shorts or long pants?" And he usually points to the shorts because I know my brother so well. And then I'll pick out 2 or 3 pairs of shorts and say, "All right, point to which one you want to wear." Or I'll pick out one and I'll ask him, "Okay, do you want to wear this one?" "No." "Okay, I'll put it back." "Do you want to wear this one?" "Yes." "All right, we'll put it on." And he's so happy. He's like smiling. And I think it's because I'm really respecting his communication and respecting his autonomy and his rights as an adult. I recognize he's an adult and talk to him, so I try to have a lot of conversations with him. Um, and sure, it might be repetitive questions like, "Hey, how are you? How are you feeling? You're doing good? Are you doing good in school? How's school? How's whatever? How's your food? How's whatever?" But um, I really do try to respect how he tries to communicate with me. Like, before I would push for him to say, "Okay, say yes, say this, say, okay, what do you say? Thank you, what do you say?" And then really push and prompt and pull. But now that he's an adult, I don't do any of that. And I think by not pressuring him communication wise, it's helped him speak tremendously because he feels more comfortable to say no. And a lot of these, I give a lot of speaking opportunities, and they're all built into his routine, like listening to music, going places. I ask him a lot of questions when we're out and about, and I give him a lot of options. But yeah, I really do respect his communication. Sometimes I do push him to prompt to say things like, "What do you say after I give him something?" Because you say thank you, right? That's just being polite. That's just social manners. But if he says no, that's it. If he nods his head, um, I thank him for nodding and for communicating, and just leave it at that. Yes, thank you for nodding. Yes, that's amazing. Thank you. Before I would have been like, I can't hear you. You got to use your words. But now it's straight up just respecting whatever communication style it is for him. And I'll push him to repeat it once. If he says no, that's it. If he repeats it, I thank him for using his words because that's awesome. I'm glad he's using his words. I need to be able to hear him talk. Or I don't need to, but it really does help to hear him speak and for him to practice it. But it's not the end of the world as it used to be when he was younger. Because I've noticed like he does get agitated from all the prompting. And I had to talk to my mom about it because like you can see the agitation, and I know she wants him to succeed and do the best he can, but he's an adult now, and like he has the right to say no. He has the right to be like, no, I don't want to talk about I don't want to repeat it. No. He has every right to. So like for example, the other day I gave him food and said, "What do you say?" And he said no. And excuse me. And he said no. And I said, and I really tried to explain this concept to him. That's one thing I really do try to do if he does something a little out of the ordinary, I'd say. I said to him, when people give things to you, uh, people will say thank you. And when you say thank you, it's a nice thing to do, and it shows that you like what I did. And I really tried to explain this concept to him real quick. Um, and then I asked him, like, do you like to be nice? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, so when you say thank you, it's really nice. And it makes me feel good. And I asked him again, I said, do you want to say thank you for me giving you food? And he said, no. And I'm like, okay, thank you for using your words. And I think I know why he said no, but I think I'll get into that a whole other episode. I think that like one, I've been teaching him he can say no, and two, it's being it for him. I feel like the thank yous have to come naturally. Like today, I gave him a big plate of fries and hot dogs, one of his favorites, and he said thank you super loud and clear. And I said, what do you say? He said, thank you, super loud and clear. So I think just giving him the option to say no and not pressuring him too hard, and letting him know he can say no, but this is why I want to thank you. it it relieves so much pressure for him, so much so that now naturally he just randomly says thank you loud. And it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? But yeah, I really do try to teach him why, like everything we do has a reason, and I tell him why we do it. I try to teach him the concept, um, but I also let him try them himself. Like, or this is a whole nother thing, but uh, to conclude on that, I do teach him the concepts, and give him the choice and I say, hey, you have every right to say no. You're an adult. And let that be that. But when I teach him new things, like say mopping the floor, things like that, sometimes I show him how to do it, but I always let him try for himself so that he can learn, one, how to do it, and two, he learns that he doesn't need someone else to do this. He can do it himself. And an example of that is recently I taught him how to wrap a towel around his waist. And let me make sure I'm still recording. All right, cool. I'm still recording. Just making sure. All right. And I recently taught him how to wrap a towel around his waist to preserve his dignity because before he wouldn't wrap a towel around his waist. And you can imagine what that would look like for, and he would walk around the house or just, I guess, sprint to his room so no one would see him. But like this is basic concepts that people do all the time. Wrap a towel around your waist. He doesn't realize that it's a loss of dignity for him. For him, he doesn't care if someone sees, but it's, that's why I have to advocate for him and teach him these concepts, or at least teach him these techniques that prevent a loss of dignity. Oh, I almost forgot about prevention. That's another huge thing I definitely want to talk about. But, like, if he says no to helping my mom, I try to explain to him, like, hey, saying yes and helping is kind. And ask, hey, you like to be kind, right? Saying yes and helping mom is a great way to be kind. Um, and you can always say no to helping, but it's very nice to say yes. And I also teach them sometimes you can't say no to mom. Like if mom is like, hold my hand in the parking lot, you have to hold their hand. You can't say no. Now, luckily for him, he actually loves holding hands because he loves hand squeezes. So it works out really well. He loves holding hands. He'll hold hands all throughout the store because the hand squeezes comfort him and provide that um, sensory that he needs. But so back to preventative measures. This is so major. That's helped my brother so much. So my brother doesn't understand safety. He just doesn't realize that he might hit his head by, let's call it, headbanging to music and just rocking back and forth, and let's call it headbanging. He does a lot of headbanging. And he'll do this on the couch. And on the couch, what he'll do is he'll move the cushions so he has better, I guess, room or something. And he'll just move his head back and forth super crazy. And it just looks so dangerous. And I know if he's not careful, he will hit his head. So what I used to do was yell and say, stop, don't do that. And he would keep doing it because it comes natural to him. And be like, hey, calm down, calm head, calm body, calm everything. And he wouldn't do it. And he just wouldn't change. And it was frustrating. And I was scared that he was going to hurt himself because he has hurt himself in the past, being careless and not understanding safety. And so to get around that, I've implemented preventative measures that don't require him to change. What I do is I put a bunch of pillows all around his head so that, one, he doesn't have to move from his spot. Two, he could keep headbanging as hard as he wants and it won't hurt. And I don't think there was a third point. I thought there was, but there isn't. But yeah, he's able to headbang as hard as he wants because of his pillows, and he doesn't have to move. And it's implementing that preventative measure that where he doesn't have to change and he feels more comfortable to be himself. Um, I've realized like it really does help with his speech, with his happiness, with his communication. By implementing these preventative measures, um, he just feels more free to be himself, and we're not like arguing back and forth. I'm not freaking out that he's being unsafe because I made the situation more safe for him. Another preventative measure was the adult bib when he drinks a lot of water, spills it on himself, and then has to change his clothes 7 times a day. And then has a bunch of clean clothes that's in the dirty laundry because he puts it in the dirty thinking, well, I wore it today, I have to put it in the dirty laundry and it's covered in water. Now he doesn't spill any water on himself because of the preventative measure. I I truly think that all of those things, and there's probably some things I'm missing that I'm sure I'll talk about more in episode 2. But I think that those things have helped him with his speech and really allows him to be himself. Like, I feel like with society, it's not about changing these kids, it's about teaching society to accommodate and support these kids' needs so that they can be their best selves in this world that was not made for them. And that's really all it is to it. Because my brother is thriving and he's improving and becoming more independent and like evolving like every day. And it truly is from providing support, providing the opportunity, and just giving him space to be himself and to grow, to do things his way. And I think that's how all these kids can grow. When I supported kids in my job, I was always client first. Their needs come first. Their wants and needs come first. My brother wants to sit on that couch and go just headbang. Just headbang. But I can sit there and yell and stomp my feet and nothing will change. But it's not until I just change the environment for him, make it a safer, more loving, more supportive, more accommodating environment for him. Now he's thriving. Now he's being himself, and I think he is communicating louder and more because of it. So that is my recommendations to society to help people with disabilities. Truly, honestly. Thank you for watching. If you stuck this long, pat yourself on the back because I talked a lot. Um, I am so glad that that I made this and that I finally went through with it. And episode 1 is finally finished. Um, Again, I have so many ideas for how to help the community, but I've come to realize that those ideas will just stay just ideas until I make them a reality. And I am excited for the future of this channel, and even slow growth would be amazing as long as I can help at least one person. Truly. Um, I'm excited to continue with the BHT Basics, the BHT Advanced, talk more about my experiences with my brother, and invite advocates, loved ones, and people with disabilities onto this podcast. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching.